Hello everyone, this is Geometry Notes from Unit 1 over Section 1-3, Understanding Various Types of Geometric Figures. Before I get started with these first lesson notes, these notes are really for you to utilize and gather the information. Strongly encourage you to pause the notes when needed, go back to any portion of the notes, and these will always be housed on our Teams page, so you have access to these at any time. So take your time going through them. Hopefully you find these helpful. So here we go. I have a couple definitions of some basic terms that we will use pretty much daily. The definition's quick. For a point is an exact location. Anywhere in space you can plot a point. A line is if you put a bunch of points together and start putting dot after dot after dot after dot after dot and continuously filling a series of points, you eventually get a line. And I have arrows on the end because it extends in both directions infinitely. And then lastly, a flat surface that extends in all directions infinitely would be considered a plane. Like think about a flat sheet of paper. If all the edges on the plane just kept going and going, now you have yourself a plane. So what I want to do is take a moment to draw each one of these, label those drawings, and then talk about how we name each figure, because the naming portion is pretty important. Okay, to draw a point, I'm going to draw everything here in blue. So to draw a point, just simply put a dot. Nothing too fancy. You've seen this before in Algebra 1, plotting a point on a coordinate plane, so on and so forth. To draw a line, linear, which you've also seen, is a series of points, straight line with two arrows on the end of it, extending forever. And to represent a flat surface in geometry, we draw this parallelogram-y looking figure. So if you were working on a desk right now, or if you were on a laptop, if you kind of tilt your screen and look at it with a little bit of angle, it would look not like a perfect rectangle, but like a parallelogram. Okay, so that's the drawing of all three of these figures. Now let's go to how to label these. So to label a point is labeled with simply a capital letter. So I could call that point A, or any capital letter. Doesn't matter what you select. To label a line, you need at minimum 2 points. You can use 3 points to label a line. You can put 5 points on a line, but at minimum you need 2 points. So if we need points, I have to have dots, and we label dots with capital letters. So I'll call this one M and this one N. Any capital letters you want. And then lastly, there are 2 ways to label a plane. One way to label a plane, planes can be labeled with a capital letter as well. So if I put just an A here in the corner, that would label a plane. Or you can use 3 non-collinear points, which we'll get to that word in a second, but it really means 3 points, not in one line. And since we're labeling points, we always label points with capital letters. So we'll call that one X, we'll call that one Y, and we'll call that one Z. Okay, and lastly, how to name each figure. So the name is how you would write your answer on an assessment. So if we want to talk about the name, like here's a picture of me, and you can label me, my features, but my name is Mr. O'Rourke. It's how to describe me with a word. So same idea with naming a point. So naming a point, you simply just write the capital letter, right? A. You can, if you want to, you can write point A. More than welcome to write that, but that's not needed. To name a line, you use only 2 points. You can have more points when you label the line, but to name it, only 2 points. And the 2 points would have to be 2 points on the line, so in this case we have M and N that are both on the line. And then the symbol for showing that something is a line is above those 2 capital letters. You put a bar with 2 arrows on the end of it. Essentially, you draw a line above the 2 letters that you're using to name the line. And then lastly, to name a plane, we're going to name a plane either with the one random letter that's not attached to any point. So you could call this plane A. Or you could also name a plane with 3 non-collinear points. Again, 3 points not in the same line. So we could also call this plane X, Y, Z. Or technically you could just write, if you're using the 3 non-collinear points, you could just write x, y, z if you wanted to. That completes our first section of notes. Next you will move to the Unit 1 notes over 1-4, video 2 of 4.